So we are back and we are headed to Trail of the Cedars. Are you excited? Yeah. Okay, here we go. On this hike, we did Trail of the Cedars, which is a very short trail. I think it ended up being a mile, and this is very easy and has wheelchair access, so anyone can do it. You will notice on this trail that I have not put as much music in here because you can hear us singing and kind of being silly and fun, so I actually left that on here. But this was absolutely one of my favorite trails, Avalanche Lake Trail. The destination, of course, is stunning and beautiful, but it wasn't my favorite, like, end game, if you want to call it, but the trail itself was my favorite by far. Hi, kids. So we are on the Avalanche Lake Trail. Again, this is one of my absolute favorite trails. We think we see bear scat right here. It looks to be old, but again, we're not sure. But we are trying to be mindful and paying attention to our surroundings. This trail has a lot of easy parts. However, it did have some very steep inclines. So if you go on this trail, just make sure you have plenty of water, because Alyssa did run out by the end of this trail. Of course, I had plenty, Camden had plenty, and Alex had plenty, and we did bring extra. But this one, I would say, is a moderate trail. I saw tons of little kids doing this. Of course, they were taking breaks as they went up, the trail, which is great and excellent. This trail was surrounded by the river here going alongside it, which I absolutely loved. It was the most stunning trail I feel like that we've been on. We go on another trail later that's very dynamic in the way that the landscaping is, but this was by far the most beautiful trail that I've been on. So I did not do very well with recording on this trail, unfortunately. I was so consumed with taking in the environment around me. I missed out on so much of the walking by the river area, which was the most beautiful area of this. So this is, in my personal opinion, a very a must-do trail if you make your way up to Glacier National Park. This trail was also by far the busiest of all the trails that we did. We will most likely be buying walking sticks after this trail and the trail that we do later this week. The kids absolutely enjoyed walking with walking sticks, so that became kind of a thing on this trail, was finding the best walking sticks. Hopefully this gives you a good idea of what some of these trails look like, so that you can decide whether or not you want to bring your littles. But again, I saw tons of little kids on this trail and they all did fantastic. This trail did have a pit toilet about halfway through.
We go. There's a hot over there. Yeah. That's a glacier.
I don't think that is. I think that's just packed snow.
Oh, dang it.
But man, look at all those different falls coming through there.
Three major.
All right, Alyssa's gonna go and dip her toes in Avalanche Lake.
The water's pretty clear, so I can skip there.
We're pretty sure there's no monsters in here.
A fish.
Reasonably confident. That's as far as you go. How cold is that compared to Bering Falls? Yes,
Oh,
or
this isn't as cold.
not as cold.
So we actually walked a little further from where everyone else was stopping, and we were actually able to get on this little bit of a private beach. The view wasn't necessarily better, but it was more private and not as many people. This is where I'm telling my husband that I didn't want to be out too awful late because it does get dark in the woods, and that's when the critters come out. But really didn't think we had to worry about that too much because it actually does not get dark until much, much later up in Montana than it does in Texas.
Can I have a break, please?
Oh, jeez, come on now.
You'll see me point my finger at my husband, but I'm not actually angry. You will see me here talking to the camera. I'm just telling my husband that as much as I loved this hike and the lake is absolutely gorgeous, that Virginia Falls was still one of my favorite endpoints. So we had actually went ahead on this trail but stopped and turned around and came back because we didn't see any markers or anything like that, so we just didn't want to go too far ahead, but we did run into some people, as you'll see here in a second.
So we ran into some people and we asked, and they said that the trail was about 10 more minutes. So we decided that we better go ahead and go check out all the way to the end. So now we're headed back to see what the end of the trail is like. It's still very ominous. It is beautiful. It's really not ominous.
So here's the end of the trail. I don't know that it was necessarily worth it to go if you think you're going to see a better view. You're not going to see a better view. This is what's at the end of that trail.
Melissa might just start.
You started the song accidentally.
Oh!
You were trying to say that you don't want to see a bear.
I don't want to see a bear.
I do.
I don't want to see a bear.
I do. Oh, watch your step.
I want to see a bear too, just from a far distance.
That wasn't the version we had before, but it's good. I like it. Oh, man.
So we were clearly having fun singing and, just keeping ourselves entertained on this trail. It was a little more bumpy. I don't know if I accidentally did not have my stabilizer on, but this last little bit is going to be a little bit more bumpy than before.
So for perspective, this is where a lot of people are stopping. This is like the last major beach access at Avalanche Lake. But if you keep walking, where the stream is, it's all the way on the other side of the lake. So it's probably a 15-minute, maybe 15-20 minute walk from here. So bit of a hike, maybe another half mile to a mile away. So definitely very scenic, very pretty. So.
Yeah.
Ready to get the video?
Yeah, I do. Okay, now
We'll
we're
let
gonna
you lead it out.
continue to go on this, or go back. So yeah.
This is the day that we also went to Conrad Mansion in Kalispell, and that was absolutely awesome.
By far the best trail.
Definitely. Awesome trail.
Please join us for our last day at Glacier. We're headed to Iceberg Lake.